Okay, good morning, good afternoon, everybody. Happy Monday. It is July 22nd, and I am so excited to be here with all of you guys today. My name is Ashley Walmer. If we haven't met yet, I am your VP of Field Development, and I get to every single Monday come on here and give you guys some reminders, any announcements that we have for the week with all of Bravenly, and then give you guys a fire training. And it's one of the things that I love about Bravenly so much is at corporate, we want to do the heavy lifting for you guys. We know that you guys have incredible uplines. You probably have team calls, but there are training from corporate that we do for you guys on a monthly basis and a weekly basis where you guys can pick up the pieces. So today, before we jump into the training, I want to give you guys a couple of announcements and reminders. So on Friday, we launched a super awesome promotion where anybody that enrolls as a brand partner with one of our product packs, okay? So that's the Brave Launch Pack, the Brave Momentum Pack, or the Brave Legacy Pack. They can enroll until tonight at 11:59 p.m. Eastern time, okay? So if you're in a different time zone, make sure you know what time that cutoff is for you. I would hate for you to get your best friend in a minute too late, right? And them not get that free reset. So know when your time frame is. Start following up with people early in the day. Yes, probably some people are at work. Send them that reminder text message. If you were talking to them over the weekend, say, hey, I am so excited for you to get started with us today. Do you need help putting in your order? I know you're probably at work. If you need help, just let me know. That cutoff is this time tonight. So I want you to try to get in early if you have any issues with your bank or anything like that. It's always good to just communicate and over communicate with people that are enrolling with you, making sure that they don't have any issues getting them on early. All right. So that ends tonight. And let me just click something here on Zoom real quick. Okay, so there is another Why Bravenly series that is happening tonight, our summer series. How many of you guys have been loving and using those to help close your prospects? I love that we have one more tonight before the end of that promotion. So if you guys have a few people that are on the fence, that are thinking about joining Bravenly, get them on there tonight. That is going to take place in the insiders group, okay? So if somebody is wanting to watch live right on Facebook, get them in that insiders group so they can watch and then they can enroll right after. And here's the deal. If you guys are inviting people to those Facebook lives, but you're not following up right away immediately after, you could be losing somebody, okay? So for example, let's say I invite Amanda and Diane and Cindy on tonight, okay? They're gonna hear these stories. As soon as that live is done, I'm gonna send each of them a text message and be like, Cindy, wasn't that incredible? What was your favorite part? Who did you resonate with the most? Diane, oh my gosh, wasn't that awesome? What questions do you have, or are you ready to get started? Amanda, I know that you're really going to resonate with this specific leader that is on here tonight. What did you think about what she had to say? Don't you see so much of your story in her? And if she can do this business, so can you. Are you ready to do this with me? If you guys don't take that initial thing, this is a business, right? So start treating it like a business. Don't let the fate of somebody else joining you up into their hands. I remember when I would build, and I used to build in this industry, and I would say, well, if they were ready to get started, they would. Or if I'll let them come to me, because I was so nervous that I was going to be pushy or I was going to be spammy. At the end of the day, you guys, what we have our hands on is absolutely incredible. And a lot of times people need to be led to help make that decision. Why? Because they're sitting in the fear that's in their own head. They're sitting there listening to all their objections. And so if you don't guide them to that, chances are they are interested. Chances are they do want to do this business with you. They just need to be asked, right? They may have a qualifying question or clarifying question, that they just need answered, and then they're all in and they're ready to go. So you guys take it upon yourself tonight. As soon as that Zoom is over, send those messages to those people that were on and ask them to join. All right. Another fun announcement for you guys today is our Bravenly Success Secrets Unleashed Summer Edition is kicking off today. So if you were a June Impact Achiever, okay, and in the 400 Club, you can check your email to join a special exclusive group where our top leaders are going to be popping in there all week long, giving you their best success secrets. Okay. So today we have 3 incredible leaders that are going to be popping in there on Facebook Live to share with you guys one of their tips. So if you are a June Impact Achiever in the 400 Club, check your email and you guys can join that specific group. Make sure you guys answer the questions just like any of our groups that you guys get into. If you just click join, you will not be admitted in unless you are answering questions. All right. Okay, 2 more last minute things is the Grand Rapids Bravenly on the Road is coming this Sunday, July 28th. So if you are in any sort of driving distance, if you have any team members that live here in Michigan, that's where I live. I'm so excited I get to see anybody that is coming to that this weekend. So make sure you guys send those text messages, reminders. You can get into your downline report, you guys, and look by state and see, oh my gosh, I didn't realize I have a brand partner that lives in Michigan. I need to text them and let them know about this so they can meet the founding family. They can hear the Bravenly story. They can hear the heart of why Bravenly, meet the Emrys, and then get some incredible training. It'll be the best way for them to get kicked off. All right. Okay. So now you guys, we are going to shift and we are going to pivot and we are going to talk about geo-tagging. How many of you put a 1 in the chat if you build your business on social media? Okay. Put a 2 in the chat if you build your business in person. I'm going to give you guys a little tip. I built 2 6 figures through in-person events just a couple years ago. Okay. I loved partying with people, getting with people in person. I hosted events. I launched my new brand partners within the first week of joining, but I started to realize that I couldn't ignore what was happening on social media, that I could tap into that. Yes, my skill set was in person, that if I met with somebody, had a one-on-one with somebody, got the products in their hands, I could ask the question and get them to join. I could answer their objections right there in person, but I couldn't ignore what was going on in social media. And I figured out a way to kind of marry the two where I could be building online, but by expanding my network and growing my market through social, I could be doing that in a more intentional way where I was actually building in person as well. And I've done this training for a specific couple of groups that knew that I built this way and asked me to do it. And it just hit me last week as I was doing it for a specific team that I needed to do this for everybody because it is definitely a strategy and a technique that anybody can use. You just have to have Instagram. I haven't figured out a way to do it on Facebook or through TikTok. I'm sure there's probably a way, but I figured out a way specifically start to finish to teach you guys how to do it on Instagram. Okay. So what it's called is geo-tagging. So what is it? It's using a location, geography. That's the geo part. Okay. That somebody is tagging that location on social media. Okay. So how many of you have gone to a restaurant, taken a picture of your food and tagged the restaurant? Right? How many of you guys have been anywhere or been on vacation? You've tagged the city, you've tagged a location, right? You are tagging a geographical location. That is geo-tagging. Well, you guys can use that to find people in your area or a specific market or a network that you're wanting to build into. Okay, so why use it? It's using social media to be intentional with the people that you're following, adding, friending. And if you're wanting to grow a specific area, it's using that area to grow your network. For example, I live in Grand Rapids, Michigan. Okay. Yes, I loved finding and having teams all over the United States. But like I said, my superpower was in-person events. It was meeting with somebody. And so instead of following people all over Instagram that lived in all 50 states, I followed people in my specific area that I could make a connection with. Why? Because once we made that connection, my first thing was, hey, let's go meet up at Starbucks. Hey, let's go meet at Panera. Hey, I see that you've got little kids. I'm going to grab Andrew and go to the mall and let them play. I'd love to meet you, bring you some samples, and we can have a little mom date as our kids play in the mall, right? And so I was able to make connections through social media that were in person in my own backyard. Here's the other way that I used it. If I did enroll a brand partner that lived in a different state or a different city than me, maybe it was 2 to 3 hours away, I now specifically wanted them to have a buddy. I wanted them to build with somebody else. Okay. I wanted to also teach them the basics of this business so they could go enroll their friends and family. But I wanted to also keep enrolling brand partners that I could place and secure and help build their team with them. Okay. So, for example, I had a really large team in the state of Nebraska. I traveled there every 6 to 8 weeks to do events for them. And the weeks leading up to those events, I specifically found people that lived in that area that I could be inviting to the events, right? So that way, when I drove 8 hours, actually, it was more like 12 hours, 12 hours to this event, I had a guest at my brand partner's house that we were launching. You guys, that was also them seeing me lead by example. I didn't even live there, and I always made sure that I had guests there, right? So it's a way for you guys to use your in-person events using social media to build them, okay? So the platform that this is used on is Instagram. If you are somebody that is just now building Instagram, or maybe you're like, I don't even have an Instagram, and you have maybe less than about 2,000 followers, I would highly consider turning your profile private. Okay. At least until you start building up that audience. And I've done a whole nother training just specifically on Instagram, why you want to keep it private. Okay. If this is a new concept to you and you're like, why? That's a whole nother training in and of itself. Okay. So I can tag and I can put that training in the comments of this. But while you guys are building your network on Instagram, I would turn it private. The main reason why is you get a notification when somebody follows you. Okay. Once you get that notification, you can go to their page and you can be intentional with some of the things I'm going to teach you guys. All right. So, who to follow, what this is, get a map out of the location that you're trying to grow in. So maybe that's your town, maybe that's your own backyard, maybe that's your state, maybe you are going into a different area. Okay, you're traveling to the on the road event here in Grand Rapids, Michigan this week, but you live out of state. Okay, you don't know the cities that are around. Get a map out, look at some of the bigger cities that are around that area. Google places in that area. If you don't know that area, like I know my own backyard, you know your own backyard. Okay, but look up, Google like top 10 best restaurants in Grand Rapids, Michigan, top 10 hair salons, top 10 boutiques, top 10 gyms, top 10 chiropractors, top 10 anything where your audience is. That would be tagging. So I want you guys to think about, when you're using social, what do you tag? Okay, what are you interested in? Chances are people that are going to resonate and be like you are tagging those same things. I'm a girl. Okay. So I shop at boutiques. I get my hair done. I go to nail salons. I am eating at brunch restaurants, right? So think about things that you like and start looking for places that are in your city or in a different city that is similar to that. Okay. So get a list, do some what I call recon, get on Google, do some recon about that area. Okay. And figure out the names of those salons, the names of those boutiques, the names of those gyms, the names of the places that you're wanting to go to, the restaurants in that area. And I'm going to screen share with you guys at the back end of this and show you exactly what to click on Instagram. Okay. So I'm going to talk through this and then I'm going to screen share. So once you have that list of places in your city that you want to start following, you now can get into Instagram and type in the name of that restaurant. Okay, now here's the fun thing. Everybody that has been to that restaurant and tags them, you now can go to their profile and follow them. Okay, yes, are some of those people maybe vacationing in that city and tagging them, but chances are the people that are following that boutique, restaurant, hair salon are people that live there, right? So don't worry if you're following and 10 of them are just tagging that location because they don't actually live there. You guys, the goal is to build your following. The goal is to make connections with those people. And hopefully some of those people you will be able to then make a connection with and meet up in person. So when I was intentionally building my business this way and growing specifically on Instagram, I actually set alarms on my phone to go off every hour where I would go into Instagram and just intentionally follow people. Okay. So I was building my network. I think Instagram lets you follow like 100 people an hour without you getting like blocked and put on some sort of like spammy alert. And so that's what I did. I literally set an alarm every hour for a couple hours in a row, and I would just go on Instagram and do those things, find the location, find the city that I wanted to be following in, okay? And I would just click follow, 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 follow. All right. So I'm going to go ahead now and I'm going to screen share and walk you through this process on my phone. So give me 2 seconds as I pull up Instagram and say a prayer that this all works, because sometimes Zoom can be finicky, as we saw today, not letting us stream. Okay, advanced AirPlay share. Right. Screen mirroring to my phone. Okay, it's working. Thank you, Jesus. Okay, perfect. So this is Instagram, you guys, for those of you that don't know. And if you are looking at the very bottom, can you guys see my mouse cursor when I move on this or not? You can? Yay. That's an added extra benefit. Okay, great. So this little magnifying glass at the bottom of your screen is called your Explore page. Okay. Oh, I need to type it on my phone. All right. So this is where you've done your little bit of recon. Okay. And just so you guys know, your Explore page, the reason why it's showing you the things that it's showing you is because you've either Googled it, you've looked at it, you're following other accounts that are like that. So in the search bar right here, you can type in the name of the city. And for this, I'm just going to use my hometown. Okay. I'm going to use Grand Rapids. And then you type it in and click search. Now, what this is going to show is it is going to show a ton of people that have tagged Grand Rapids in a post, a reel, or a story. So you can now scroll through here, and any one of these, I now can go to their profile, okay, and click on them and follow that account. Okay. Here's the other really cool thing. You can explore the city. You can actually click on the map. And this is going to show you people and places that are right here in Grand Rapids that you could tag. Grand Rapids Downtown Market, that's a really fun place to go. I can now click that and it's going to take me to their Instagram. Okay. I can go now through their pictures and see who is liking that specific photo. Chances are the people that are liking that specific photo are people that are following that account that live here in Grand Rapids. Okay. Here's another tip. When you're following, only follow people that have profile pictures. If it's a picture of an inanimate object, it's probably a business or somebody that's not really relevant on Instagram. Another really good tip is anybody that has that circle around them, that means that they have a story that's up and they've been active on Instagram in the last 24 hours. So you can go through and follow those specific people, and you're going to get a better audience of people that are actually currently using the app right now. Okay. So I'm going to go back out. And the other thing that you guys can do is come up here and go to tags and look at hashtags of people that are hashtagging Grand Rapids. Okay. 1.9 million people have hashtagged Grand Rapids. This is going to show you the posts or the reels that they've hashtagged. All right. So you can now scroll through here and see something maybe relevant, click on a post and go into that account. Here's obviously, this is not a person. M220 or M22 is a very scenic highway in Michigan. Okay. But here is also, this account has 113,000 people that are on it. Chances are they live in Michigan. Okay. So again, I can click on any one of these photos. There's almost 2,000 people that have liked this photo. And again, go through and follow people that I want to follow that are based on liking this picture in Michigan. Okay. So another thing, so I showed you guys the tags. Again, places. These are accounts that are in Grand Rapids Public Library, Millennium Park. These are the top locations on Instagram where you guys are able to find. Here's a really great tip. Grand Rapids Children Museum. Okay. If you are a mom, chances are, do you think other moms in the area are following something like that? Yes. Okay. So you can get into, you can follow that page, but now I can see people. These are all people that have tagged Grand Rapids Children's Museum, and I can follow them. Or I can go directly into their Instagram and go to their last post again and look at the people that are liking it. Okay. Almost 400 people that have watched that reel. So there are numerous different ways that you guys can use tags to find people on Instagram where you guys are able to look through them, find them, follow them. Okay. Now, here's what you do once you follow them. There is something, once they follow you back, and again, this is where if you have an account that's private, you're going to get a notification that they're following you. What I used to do with a new follower is I would do something called my 5-2 rule. So, for example, I'm going to go into just a page. Well, it would work. Okay. Let's say, for example, this girl followed me back. Okay. I'm going to get that notification and I'm going to like 5 pictures and comment on 2. She's now just gotten 7 notifications from me. What do you think the first thing that she's going to do when she goes to her notification and sees that? She's going to go to my profile. Okay, so she has now the opportunity to scroll through, see my stuff, and follow me back. This is where also, you guys, when you're following people, you want to make sure you have a story up and you have a relevant post up. And if it's not about business, it's even better. So something that is more personal, something that is going to showcase who you are as a person. So when you're going and following people and they go back to your profile, they're able to see a relevant recent post and something in your story that doesn't seem like, oh, she's trying to sell me something. Okay. So that is a tip for you guys to make sure. First thing that I used to do in the morning is get something up on my story and make a post before I started following and adding and interacting. I wanted to make sure I had something up on social right away in the morning early. That way people could see that all day long. Okay. So when you guys get onto an account, you're going to do that 5-2 rule. All right. Now, the next thing that you're going to do is, let's say you find somebody that you're like, oh my gosh, I love this person. I so would love them to join my team. I either want to remember their profile because it's a great profile where lots of other people are following them, or they are somebody that I want to remember to specifically reach out to. Okay, so I'm just going to use this one because it just came up, and I'm going to show you how I used to do this. So let's say this girl right here, she's clearly an influencer. She's got over 2 million followers. She probably was not going to be somebody who would join my team. Okay. She may be somebody who might be an affiliate, but I want to remember this profile. Let's say, for example, she's either somebody that lives in Grand Rapids. I don't know if she does. I don't think I used her as a geotag, but let's say I want to remember this profile. How you do that very easily if you're a paper and pen person is you grab a piece of paper and you just write down their handle name. Okay. Their handle is this right here. Or you go to the most recent picture post and you click this little button right here. It's your saved. Okay. Now you can save this to a collection. I would create 2 collections, one calling something like great profiles. Okay. And then you can also do one. Let's go to a different person. Okay. I'm going to go to one of her posts and hit saved. And I'm going to do a new collection called Grand Rapids. Okay. So now what you guys are going to do with that is, let's say you're finding people that you want to save, you want to remember them, they live in your hometown, name it your hometown. If you're finding people that live in a different state or a different area, you guys can name that collection any way you want. Okay. Now, how you guys get to that is go to the home button at the bottom, go over to your personal picture on the bottom right, then at the top right, click on those three little lines, and now you're going to scroll down to where it says saved. These are your saved collections. Okay. So you guys can now get into a collection that you saved and find those things. Now it's going to take you, when you click on that, back to that person, right? So if I click on her, it's going to take me back to that image and back to her profile. It is just a way for you guys to remember who you're intentionally following, why you want to follow them. So that way you can go back and be intentional about commenting, liking, interacting, and getting into their inbox. Okay. So I'm going to take this off screen share and give you guys a couple last minute tips of what it looks like to actually message some of these people. So what I would do is every day I built my business like this. I did it in a power hour or a power 30 minutes where I was intentionally following people in my area. Okay. For people that I wanted to remember, I would save them and add them to the appropriate collection. All right. I would do the 5-2 rule for people that were following me back. Okay. This was all done in a power hour. Then the next day, when I went in to do my interacting part, so every day I did this, and then every day I got to the part of my power hour where I was commenting and liking and interacting with people on social media. I would get into Instagram and I would go to those saved collections, and I would go to those profiles of people that I was saving for people that I really wanted to eventually reach out to. Okay. So the next day, maybe a couple days later, I would find a way to get into their inbox that had nothing to do with business. I would find some sort of connection tip. Okay. If I was following them, maybe based on a hair salon or based on a boutique, I'm going to say something like, oh my gosh, don't you just love Cheeky Strut? Okay. Who's your stylist that you go to there? That's a hair salon in downtown Grand Rapids. Okay. So I'm getting into Diane's inbox, not about Bravenly. Here's a tip for you guys. If you have the intention of recruiting them, I guarantee you're going to get in your head. I guarantee you're going to second guess what you're going to say to them. I guarantee you're going to maybe not send a message. But when you get into their inbox solely because you're building a relationship and trying to be a friend, you just are less weird. That's what I used to say to myself, right? You're just a friend, right? So if I am legit trying to find a new stylist, and I'm asking different people on Instagram, hey, who do you go to? Who do you go to that does extensions? Who do you go to that does blonde coloring, right? Who specializes in haircuts that you go to at your salon? Because I'm not going to be weird about that. I'm not going to overthink what I'm saying. I'm getting into her inbox because we have a common interest, and I'm trying to be a friend. I'm trying to build a connection. I will ask better questions. Okay. So maybe I'm starting that connection. I'm getting into their inbox because I'm asking questions. Photography, okay? Maybe I'm looking for a new person to do our family photographer. And I'm finding people that have just recently had their pictures taken and tagging photographers in my area. I'm going to message them. I'm going to message Amanda and Diane and Sydney and Colette and say, hey, oh my gosh, I love your family photos. What photographer did you use? Okay. We live in Grand Rapids. She lives by me. So now I'm being intentional with her. I'm building that relationship with her. But now what I can do after that relationship has started, after that that back and forth has gone on for a couple of days, now I can message them about my business. Okay. So a few days later, now it's the intentional message. And I'm going to give you guys two that I used to send a lot. Okay. So, hey lady, do you live in Grand Rapids? Remind me. Okay. Or, hey, do you live in Chicago? Do you live where? She's going to be like, yeah, I do. Why? What's up? Okay. Question for you. More like, I need your help. LOL. Here's the thing. Be silly, be fun, be a friend, use voice audios. Don't be spammy. Don't just act like you're, again, getting into their inbox for business. Be you. So I'd be like, okay, I have a question for you. More like, I'm going to ask you a huge favor. Are you ready? And I would send that in a voice audio. They would hear the sincerity in my voice. They weren't just reading a sentence and being like, oh, next. Okay. I then would send a voice audio. So here's the deal. Okay. I make a full-time income off social media, and I'm actually launching your city right now. Okay. This would be if maybe I was going into a different market. Okay. I'm actually launching your city right now. So I'm looking for a couple more people that are interested in making some extra income from their phones through social marketing. Do you know anybody that would be interested? I'm trying to expand this market in Grand Rapids. I'd love your help. Any tips, any people that you know of. Okay. Chances are they're going to be like, well, what is it? Okay. Well, I might be interested. Yeah, my friend. Okay. You're not actually asking them if they're interested. You're asking them if they know anybody that would be interested. Okay. So then the conversation goes from there. Another one that was intentional that I used to use is, okay, so question for you, more like, I need your help. You ready? Like, favor. I'm coming to Grand Rapids later this week too. Okay. And then based on why you guys are going there, launch my newest rock star, attend a networking event, meet up with some of our local leaders. Okay. Meet up with my CEO and her family. So I'm coming to Grand Rapids later this week too. I found your profile and I think you would be a perfect fit. I'm hosting a free event on Saturday, on Sunday, on Thursday at 6 p.m. I'd love for you to join me. Are you free? Okay. So these are intentional messages that you are sending to people that are in a specific area. And it's the same thing for your area. Okay. You just change the verbiage to meet your own backyard. Hey, okay. So, question for you, I'm looking for some help. I actually make a full time income off social media and I'm launching Grand Rapids right now. I'm trying to put our city, our state on the map, right? I'm looking for other moms just like me, okay, or other dads just like me, or other guys just like me, or other women just like me who are interested in making a little bit of extra income from their phones on a schedule that they choose. Are you interested, or would you know anybody that would be interested in that? All right. So these are some of the intentional messages that I used to send after I've done the legwork of using the geotags, finding them, interacting with them, getting in their inbox, not about business, that would then eventually lead me to a very specific intentional response. And here's the deal, you guys, do not be emotionally attached to the outcome. All right. The goal is, it is probably nearly impossible that every single person is going to read your message, that every single person will respond, and that every single person will say yes. You're not looking for every single person. You're looking for the right person. And the only thing that you can control, you cannot control the outcome. You cannot control them saying yes, them responding, them even reading it. But what you can control is how many messages you are sending out, how intentional you are being about that. And I am a person who takes things personally. I'm a girl, I'm a female to the highest degree, right? I'm a crier, I'm emotional. And so when I got into network marketing, that was a hard piece for me to understand and try to get through is, oh my gosh, they didn't even respond. They didn't even read it, or they saw it and they didn't respond, right? Those were things I would get really in my head about. And it stopped me in my tracks from sending messages. And then I had a leader tell me, Ashley, when was the last time that you went to a restaurant? And I was like, oh, just like a couple days ago. Was it a sit down restaurant? Yeah. Did you have a waitress or a waiter? I was like, yeah. Did that person come over and ask you if you like wanted a refill? I was like, yeah. She's like, did you say yes every time? And I was like, no. She's like, okay, so when you said no to the water refill, did you watch the waitress run away from your table and start crying? Or did you see her go to the next table? And I was like, well, yeah, she went to the next table. She wouldn't cry. That's silly. She's like, you're being silly. Be the waitress. And literally, you guys, that right there changed everything for my business and how I looked at follow up, how I looked at taking things personally. People don't see what we see until they do. So do not take it personally if they can't see the really awesome thing that you have to offer. It's your job not to convince them. We're not in the business of twisting people's arms. We're in the business of helping people, giving people hope, asking them to take a look at what we have our hands on. Okay. It is your job to ask. So don't take it personally if they don't read your messages. You're trying to get out a bunch for the right people that your message will land on. And here's a tip: if you're a praying person, pray over it before you start. Pray over the messages that you're sending, that they will land in the right hearts and minds of the people that need to hear this from a product standpoint, a business standpoint, or both. All right. So, okay, you guys, I hope that was something that you guys learned something from. It was an incredible way for me to take my superpower of building in person and use online to be able to do that. So I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording, and then I'm going to give this just a few minutes for those of you that are on Zoom to ask any questions, if you have anything at all.